It's all about quality and quantity on Brewsday Tuesday. Here is Drez and Huck.
Yeah, buddy. Quality and quantity. I think that applies for today's show, Huck.
I think so, too.
It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store, and it is a special Brewsday Tuesday as we have Sam, who is the Chief Operating Officer for Floydfest in the Hizzy, and we continue to highlight the awesomeness that is Floydfest. In fact, that's hence me playing Greta Van Fleet. They were on the bill last year. Did you guys book them like pre kind of blowing? That's a good question. Actually, how far in advance are you booking the bands for the fest?
That's a very good question. We actually start booking a year plus ahead. And so by the time you're at one Floyd Fest, we've already got a pretty good knowledge of who perhaps we want from the next one. Chris Hodges, of course, does the majority of the booking, and he really nailed Greta Van Fleet very early, and we were happy to get them. I think we got them 2 or 3 weeks before they went on their first late show appearance, and then, as you guys know from there, it's a meteoric rise.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
And now they're selling out arenas
Great
in
show,
Europe
too.
and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and actually, if you remember correctly, they performed at Floydfest, and then it was the guitarist or the drummer?
The fingers.
Yeah, he had his finger injury, and then they had to call off for a lot of dates after that. Yeah, so we got lucky to catch him.
Backstage, we didn't know this, but they debated even playing that show. We're very lucky they went through with it. But apparently by the end of that last song, he had to cut the drum solo short because he was flinging blood everywhere. And they went and got checked out, and they had to cancel the entire week following us.
Yeah, so we got lucky on that one.
Was it our fault?
It was.
Because us are partying with them?
Not our fault.
Okay, good, because we were partying with them.
Anywho, speaking of the lineup, we're going to really delve into the lineup here shortly. But first, we got to get talking about the beer that we're pouring. Obviously, all of these breweries are going to be featured at Floydfest this year. And you handed me Foothills Tangled Vine, which is a berry rosé ale.
Foothills is an interesting brewery. I mean, they make some
4.5%.
good, solid beers, and they're starting to reach
great
out a little
ideas.
bit and make some new stuff, and that's one of them.
Yeah, I've definitely
I'll be
never had this
interested
one.
to know what you think of it. So we're sharing over here. We got the striped bass pale ale, and it's got a fish on it.
Devil's
Backbone. Devil's Backbone. A lot of people don't know this, but their brewer is Jason, I think is his name, and he's really good at making pilsners and lagers and German style beers.
Hence all the lagers. Yeah, they got a lot of that stuff.
And so anytime he lightens it up like this pale ale, it's crisp, it's clean, and you're going to find that.
It's
if
a
you
very
go to
interesting taste.
you go to the base station over there, base camp,
Yeah.
go over there, and you should go and get you a flight of those beers because they always have good stuff on there.
And of course, I'll interject here and say these are the same brewery that's making the Sludge River Tyler Childers beer.
Tyler Childers.
Yes, and he played last year, playing again this year, and I would say this is one of our guys that he's up for a Grammy next year. He has to be. He's
I know
up
that
for arena shows.
My daughter and her group love Tyler. So
Yeah, amazing Kentucky boy, and we're gonna actually be lucky enough to debut his Sludge River canned beer at Harvester Performance Center April 28th. For a show we're doing.
Also, just a few weeks from now.
Very soon.
I just saw Little Feet there. It's a great venue.
Dude, I love Harvester, man. They always get such acts that you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
and then be able to see them there.
Yeah, and they're so
that
close.
small
It's
little
Tuesday.
yeah, right.
on a Monday or two, yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
No, it's amazing. So actually, we're doing a pre-party with the Sludge River, and anyone's invited. They can come for free without having to take it to Tyler Childers, and that's April 28th, 4 to 8 p.m. Harvester, Rocky Mount, Virginia.
Sweet. Not too bad.
Pre-party.
Yeah.
Pre-party with Devil's Backbone.
I do that
beer.
before the show normally.
Yeah,
It's pre-party with
We
Huck.
we always pre-party. So Tyler's going
Life's
to be
a
there.
pre-party.
I know earlier you mentioned string cheese incident. You got Phil. You got quite the line of leftover salmon's coming back. I mean, who are the ones? And I guess maybe I could just scroll down to the on the rise. Like, who are the ones that you think are going to be major standouts, must see, don't miss, blank?
That is a very good question. Of course, there's so much in there. We've got a dense lineup this year. I will say the Chupacabras are a band coming out of Roanoke. Of course, my boss Chris Hodges is in that band, but it's very different, very wild. of
I like
a
what they
band.
do. I see them a lot.
Yeah, they are just a sound that you're not seeing a lot of times in Southwest Virginia or the East Coast, period. So I think that's going to be a big standout. Of course, our On the Rise this year is a very strong group. I will say that Mason Vi, which is David Vi's son and the bluegrass world, this guy's got talent. This guy's going to go somewhere, and I really encourage people to go check his sets out when he's on the mountain.
Talk a little bit about the On the Rise thing. Like that's, if I'm not mistaken, is it always in the beer garden? Is that stage all On the Rise?
You know what? One would think that. They actually do play multiple different stages.
Okay.
Beer garden is kind of the home for them. But every single year we have, between 12 and 20 bands that we invite to the mountain, and we allow the patrons to see them over 5 days and then vote for them via our app. The winning band and the runner-up band get invited back the following year. They get to open up for some of our main headliners. They get a microphone package from Peluso Microphone Lab. They get some press merch, gift certificates, and a whole other host of prizes. So we try to take care of the up-and-coming, and that goes back to when people attend Floydfest, they come away with a new favorite band, and oftentimes these are these on-the-rise bands. So we're pretty proud of that.
And so those are almost like the question I asked you before. Check out the On the Rise ones. Those are ones that you're really going to, because obviously these guys they're playing for something. They actually have something to gain.
They
out
really
of this.
really do.
And they're big fan pleasers.
For us old folks, who most of our bands are dying now, I go there just to try to find new bands because I got to find some young people that are going to outlive me.
Exactly.
Damn,
I mean, it's the Rolling Stones, but other than that,
Yeah. And, on that On the Rise note, the Avett Brothers, if you guys are familiar with them.
Oh, yeah,
they
they're
won
good.
the On the
Who-
Rise
who now?
competition.
Who-
Exactly.
who's that?
I think that's what they're saying about us. Yeah, we hopefully have them come back at some point. But they won the On the Rise, I guess, over a decade ago.
oh, well.
Been a
And
minute.
they've done just really horrible for themselves.
There's the proof. There's the proof right there, man. Truly on the rise.
Well, I think anybody needs to go see Keller Williams, though. I saw him a couple weeks ago.
He's part of the family.
And he's just a great musician and hilarious guy.
And he's doing Grateful Grass with Love Cannon, which is no one's heard Love Cannon. Of course, they do the 1980s
They were at
tunes.
Snowshoe 2 weeks ago.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. But all bluegrass, 1980s tunes.
I mean, I'm looking at some of these other bands. So you got Dead Reckoning playing. You got Blue. Blue
Dead
Mules.
Reckoning's always a fun band.
Yeah, man. I mean, oh gosh, I know one. I scrolled through here. Yarn. You remember seeing Yarn at
we
Bliss
saw
Fest?
Yarn.
We love Yarn.
Yeah,
Yarn's good.
Blissfest.
Those guys are great. And this past year, they were doing the last Yaltz. They covered the last waltz in its
great.
entirety.
I love
Those
that.
guys are just really talented.
They are.
Well, yeah. So stellar lineup, of course, no doubt about it. Once again, if you haven't already booked it on your calendar or whatever, pull out your app and put it in. Floydfest is going to be July 24th through the 28th, and tickets still available. And of course, there's a whole bunch of different like camping options and whatnot. Give us the rundown on all that stuff, Sam.
Yeah, so we have a very unique campus that's on top of a mountaintop, so we kind of have to get creative in where people camp. But of course, we have plenty of general admission camping tickets that's for on-site. We still have some Delta lot spaces available. That's where we put a majority of our RVs and such.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be up by the shower. I'm always like
Beer V2.
second row, close to the shower, close to the gate.
And you got the general store out there.
General
You got
store, and
nice
those guys will
showers.
take care of you. You need something off-site, you give them the money in the morning, and you get back in the evening, they'll have it
And
there for
there's
you.
also a stage over there too.
Oh,
so they're
yeah.
jamming.
Yeah, we
man.
just stick stages wherever we can. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's a good party place. And there's quiet places, too. I mean, it's just a good place to hang out.
there's shade and there's flat ground.
And electricity.
There you go.
And that's Delta.
And water.
But on the site, that's where the real
That's where
part
the fun
of the
is.
family is.
Yeah, I actually get glamping sites, too. I do both. So I have a place if I can't make it back to Delta, I have a place to lay
Do you
my
make
head.
your own glamping, or do you get some glamping from us? Like
No,
solid
I
ground?
make my own, but I get the good sites there right behind,
Oh yeah.
the high-end sites that are hard to get.
And you see, people keep coming to this thing. You'll figure out your spots.
That's what somebody
Figure out
said.
your secret world.
They said, Hook, you're so smart. I said, no, I'm not smart. I'm wise. And wisdom
Been there, done that from
Yeah,
experience.
from experience, right? And experience comes from screwing up. There's another word I usually use, but Drez won't let me. So, and I screw up a lot.
The FCC
so I'm very wise. I am not smart.
Very nice. We like the wise.
So what else do we need to know about Floydfest, Sam? What else?
Well, this year's just feeling really inspired. We came out of last year, and of course, we had good weather. And we really threw a great experience for the people. And this year, all sites are set on just making this a magical experience that you come away talking about. One thing I will say is, of course, we're working on our on-site art installations. If you guys go check out floydfest.com, you'll see our logo, which is a massive ship. And I can tell you that what we're working on is a massive art installation for the middle of our field that will probably be a ship. And we'll have different dancers associated with that, and that theme will carry itself throughout the campgrounds. I would say we might see some jellyfish in the trees.
I'm dressing like a pirate one day.
There you go.
I'm talking like one too.
So we hope everyone will come and see it for themselves.
Well, all right. Well, there you go. All right, Floydfest is looking good. Now, of course, this is a beer show, so let's get back to the beer.
Yes.
I poured the Foothills Berry Rose Ale, and I must say, man, this has got some flavor to it. It's been a minute since I've had a berry-based alcohol thing. It's only 4.5%.
Whoa.
But man, yeah, it's got a nice little pucker to it, and it's kind of funny, like how it's
I would
you could tell
expect
it's a
it to be
berry.
redder though.
It almost looks like a rosé, like
Yeah,
that
it
color, and the hint to it. Let me just take one more sip, and while I'm doing that, Huck, why don't you do the Untapped spiel?
Well, Untapped is an app we use to keep track of our beer consumption, not total consumption, more like styles of beer we taste. Right. Almost every beer you can imagine is there, and if it's not, you can add it. Just talk to the brewer, get the information, plug it in. Easy to do. I'm Huck's Beer Buzz on Untapped. Drez is Drez Drinks. And
I have no idea what I am, really.
Sam
Nobody knows.
Sam, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so you can also friend us, like us. It'll tell you if you have a beer you want. It'll tell you if you're near it. If you're somewhere in a strange city, you can look and find the nearest Untapped place where you're going to be welcome and find some beer. Check it out. Rate your beer.
Yeah, I will say, if you are a fan of rosé, I think this beer is true to its name. Not only does it have the color and the look of a rosé, but it has the flavor notes too. While it might not be quite the ABV that a rosé might be, it's got pretty much all that. Now, I'm not a huge wino, so I think I might just give it a 4. But still, I mean, Foothills is doing some experimental stuff, and I got to give them a little bit of credit for that.
Fair enough. Well, I'm over here with the striped base. Pale ale. Yeah, I just always base bass.
Well, I always think about what's that one beer? The double bass or
the
double base, whichever one it is.
I'm pretty sure that one's bass too, because that's.
But to me, I think of double bass because I think of drums. But
right, double.
I think
bass.
it is double bass.
Very nice.
So anyway, it's a nice pale ale, and it's light and crisp, but that's really not how pale ale is supposed to be. But I'll still give it a 4. It's a tasty beer, and again, this will be good for the summertime because it's got a little light.
Do you concur, Sam?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's kind of a day drinking, much lighter.
Than you expect
that to come out.
Yeah. I was looking for some dark, hoppy notes, and I just got a yummy beer, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Not much hops.
Well, hey, I mean, you can't argue with that. Devil's Backbone, Foothills, and Three Notch, just a few of the breweries that you'll be able to enjoy their lovely, lovely brews out there at Floydfest. 19, it's Voyage Home. It's going to be July 24th through the 28th in Floyd, Virginia. Sam, I appreciate you coming in and giving us the lowdown on what the festival is going to be like this year.
Thank you, guys. It means
a lot. And hopefully we'll see you actually on site.
Yeah,
I guess
do some
not on the
on-site.
23rd. We'll be there for a
We'll be
live
there.
Place it on your
Brewsday
calendar.
Tuesday. Going to be a good time. Huck, as always, I appreciate you coming in, sir. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll get back with the tunes right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.